Hello, and welcome to Fantasy Bout Hour, the page dedicated to bringing you fantasy matchups on a regular basis. If there's a particular fantasy matchup that you want me to cover, please leave it in the comments section, and I promise to honor your request. Please subscribe for regular updates. The format of this video is going to be a bit different, and I think that most of you can relate to the content in this video. This is in regard to Terrence Bud Crawford and Errol the True Spence. This is a fight that the fans want to see. Both guys are equally good, equally talented, and equally skilled, in my opinion. This is the fight that needs to happen. Unfortunately, we don't know where Spence is at after his accident, so only the next fight will tell. But as a Spence fan, I'm cautiously optimistic. But this video is regarding the need for this fight, the demand for this fight, and why this fight isn't happening is beyond me. And I'm sure that most of you are feeling the same way that I'm feeling. In my opinion, this fight should have happened, or at least have been signed on the dotted line. And so, I just feel that promoters today take pride in not making the fights. Back in the day, particularly the 90s, when I started watching boxing, you had competitive fights on a regular basis. Yeah, you had the best fighting the best. But today, politics rules boxing. And for some reason, these promoters are reluctant to make the best fights out there. And I just feel that they're outright ignoring the fans, which I don't understand. Because the fans is your bread and butter. If it wasn't for us buying the pay-per-views or even watching the fights, you wouldn't be where you are today. And so you can't ignore the fans. If something is in demand, well, I put it this way. In any other industry, whatever is in demand, whatever the consumer demands, that's what's going to be sold. The minute something stops being in demand is when it stops being sold, or it's when it stops being put on the shelves. I think you get the picture. So, if the boxing public is demanding this fight, if the fans are demanding this fight, then why in the world will the promoters ignore the fans who are buying the pay-per-views, who are buying the tickets to these fights, and at the end of the day, putting money into your pockets? I just don't understand. Now, honestly, I don't want to get into who's ducking who, who's afraid of who, so on and so forth. In my opinion, if you call yourself the best, then you fight the other best. That's the way it was back in the day when fighters like Ali, Tyson, Holyfield, just to name a few, were on top. So why in the world would this fight not be made, or at least negotiated? What is wrong with these promoters? What is wrong with these fighters? At some point, you have to consider the fans. And I won't lie, I've become thoroughly frustrated at this situation, because this fight could be big. I'd imagine this fight would make so much money. Both fighters are equally good, equally skilled, and equally talented, as I mentioned earlier. So it's just beyond me. Like I said, I don't know who's ducking who or who's afraid of who. But are you guys that scared of one another to where you wouldn't give the fans the fights they want to see? honor the fans, think about the fans. But honestly, I think it's more the promoters than it is the fighters. Today's promoters, they get that one cash cow. They want to protect that one cash cow. And so as a result, we have these ridiculous mismatches. These cash cows are A+ fighters fighting C- or D+ fighters. As long as I've been watching boxing, and I consider myself among the top hardcore, diehard fans, half of these fighters I haven't heard of. The fighters might be good. The fighters might have potential. But at the same time, I wasn't born yesterday. There is no need for Terrence Bud Crawford to fight another fighter that we haven't heard of. There is no need for Terrence Bud Crawford to fight another fighter who doesn't stand a chance or who won't put up any kind of resistance. Terrence Bud Crawford needs that fighter who's going to stand up to him, who's going to give him a challenge, who's going to weather the storm. That's the opponent that Terrence Bud Crawford needs in front of him at this point. At least fight Mikey Garcia. At least fight Sean Porter. At least fight Mikey Garcia. And once again, these promoters are in the way. You know it, and I know it. One thing I can say about Errol the Truth Spence, and I admit to a little bias here because I'm a fan of his. He had that dog fight against Sean Porter. Sean Porter tested him, pushed him to the limits, but Errol Spence weathered the storm. So, at the end of the day, the fight needs to happen. Period. Unless Errol Spence is, put it this way, unless the accident just has ruined him, if he's at least 75% of what he was, the fight needs to happen. There's no excuses as to why the fight shouldn't happen. I don't care which fighter needs who. There's an argument going around that Bud Crawford doesn't need Errol Spence. Who cares? This is the fight that the fans want to see. Make it happen. Give me your thoughts, whether you agree or disagree. I love a good debate and a good discussion. Take care.